Hey, it's John McCabe. Welcome to the show. The John A. McCabe Show. It's Friday. Anything goes. So I had a special guest lined up for today. So unfortunately, he didn't get back to me. So I dredged the bowels of Facebook and I came up with some random guy who's going to join us today. And his name is Andy Lockwood. Actually, he's a good friend of mine. We met several years ago at some of the marketing events, and we spent some time together in the mastermind. And he's a hilarious guy. He's become a good friend of mine. So today on Anything Goes, Andy and I are just going to talk about whatever we feel like talking about. And if you want to join in the conversation, what I'll get you to do is like, love, share, leave some comments for myself or Andy, ask any questions that you have. How are you feeding the intro? Impressive. So that's my very first question I have is how am I feeding the intro, Andy? So do you want to field that question or?
Oh yeah, well, I think the first thing you did clearly is shamelessly rip off Mike Koenigs,
Of course.
and then I don't know whatever technical crap you do after that.
Okay. So what I'm using right now is I actually use a program called Wirecast, and I feed everything through Wirecast. That's how I'm able to do Facebook Live, and I have a guest that I usually Skype in. I'm using a green screen. I'm not actually sitting on a beach in Hawaii. However, I wish I was.
Oh,
I'm using a green screen right now, so I have a beach flowing. The waves are flowing in on the beach, and Andy's just sort of hovering in the air beside me. And I'm actually able to do all that graphics through a program called Wirecast. And then I send the feed from Wirecast. I'm using Wirecast Pro 7, I think, which actually has an integration for Facebook Live. And then I stream that into Facebook Live. And I use another program called Live Leap, which enables me to distribute it within Facebook to not only my personal page, but several of my Facebook pages at the same time. And it also notifies people on Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook that I'm going live. So there's your technical, the technical part of the show. So hopefully there won't be too many more technical questions because that's about as techy as I get.
so I shouldn't be in the Speedo? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's okay being in the Speedo because I'm only seeing you from the waist up. So, and today's Anything Goes Friday. So cheers, you Andy. You have
Yes.
your drink.
As I was saying to you before, I'm really complaining and whining about how I've had a cold for like 3 days, but you peer pressured me into drinking, which I think is, the spirit of your show, really.
Exactly. So it'll actually fix the cold that ails you right now.
Just hanging around with you makes me feel better.
Uh,
Love
so,
you.
yeah, I love you too, Andy. So Anutsa, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name correctly, Anutsa. But yes, I'm using Wirecast and I'm also using Live Leap. So those are the two pieces of technology that I'm using for my show. Obviously, you can just do this from your smartphone, but to get studio quality, I have 4 different studios in my home. I know Andy has 2 or 3 different studios. Either that or he
Two,
has
but I have a very expansive green room, unlike you.
Okay, so
Full bar, lobster, appetizers. Not the cheese and crackers that you served me.
no. So Pearl didn't get the menu. I sent Pearl a menu to bring some food out to you. Didn't get that? I take it.
Do you want to hear where she is? This is also a testament to how you peer pressured me. So at the last minute, when you asked if I would go on, I was like, yeah, sure. What I forgot was that Pearl had actually booked a massage for me. So,
Well, you didn't
so,
need that anyway.
so okay, whatever. So I said yes, and then I came downstairs and I said, by the way, Pearl, I need you to do a big favor for me. Can you please go take my massage for me? And I've never seen her move so fast. She was gone.
No doubt.
Yeah. So she owes you.
No, you should have said, well, Pearl, it's for all the hard work I know you've been putting in lately, and you deserve it, and just being an amazing wife and mother to my 4 kids, and you didn't have to butter up. Just like it's
See, this
yours.
is why you're such a great coach. No, I didn't even dawn on me to say that. I was just like, hey, here.
And the guest that was supposed to be on was a gentleman that was going to talk about Passion 365. He wrote a book, Passion 365. Unfortunately, he didn't connect, and so he didn't get on. So he would have actually coached you on how to, have better passion in your marriage. That's what he talks about. So
You know what? I am.
so you're talking to a consummate bachelor.
I'm
So for me giving you marital advice is probably not the best place to come from.
Can I just ask you in general? Does the world really need another book about passion? I mean, Jesus.
I don't know. Have you read the other ones?
Do I read any books? Is really the bigger question.
Yeah, exactly.
And clearly, no.
So if you're just joining us, looks like we only have one person joining us. She's leaving lots of comments, though. I don't know. Are you able to see the comments, Andy? Do you have Facebook
No,
open
because
at all?
we're getting that echo, so I shut down Facebook.
Well, you can turn Facebook on. Just shut the sound off.
I'll go on my phone. How's that?
Yeah, Anutsa Gold Bellissimo. That's quite an attractive name. I'm not sure.
Almost as attractive as McCabe.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, great name. Bellissimo.
So I'm not sure. Anutsa, where are you from? And please,
Taking off my headphones.
we could be friends on Facebook. When you get so many friends, you just don't know who all your friends are anyway. So if you're just joining us, it's the John A. McCabe Show. Anything Goes Friday, where we have some drinks and we talk about whatever we feel like talking about. With my good friend, associate, and just some random guy that I trolled the bowels of Facebook and said, "Oh, this guy, I'll have him on the show." Andy Lockwood from New York, the Big Apple.
Clearly, very high standards on the John A. McCabe Show.
Yeah, exactly. And he's trying to add some. Bring some guests along with him. I'm not sure. So we're up to 2 now, Andy. So you're not doing a very good job bringing in the clientele. So just a question.
Pressure.
And a New York question for you: is it Jets or Giants? And is it the so Jets or Giants?
So I grew up in Massachusetts. I actually hate most New York teams. If I had to choose one, I would choose the Giants because I think Jets fans are just really obnoxious, coming from a masshole like myself.
Okay, so you're a Celtic, a Bruins, and a
Pats, Red Sox.
Red Sox fan. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So definitely not Jets.
So you're the guy that all of your friends like to give a hard time when they're watching the New York games.
It is very lonely being a Boston fan in Long Island. Yes.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So Andy, we were talking before the show. That's how you had actually ended up being on it. Hey, what are you doing? Want to be on the show?
Yeah.
Actually, we're planning for next Tuesday's show because you're coming on Tuesday to talk to the guests about how you're using webcasts as a strategy in your business to accelerate your authority and to grow your business. But
which clearly I'm revamping just by being on this show. I need to rethink that.
Yeah. You do the exact opposite of what I do. And you'll be successful.
Okay.
So Andy and I met. What was the first event was it Publish and Profit, or was it before that? What were some of the events that you were involved in with Mike?
You know what? To me, they all kind of like blend in. So because I went through like a 1.5, 2 year stretch where I went to like almost everything.
So did I. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were just great. And just too much travel personally, but they were great.
Yeah. So we ended up in a mastermind together. Looks like we had a couple more people joining us. My mother joined. Hey, Mom.
I'm resisting a joke there because that's too easy.
Yeah. The only people I can get on are my parents and my family. So, and Brett joined us. Hey, Brett, how you guys doing? So if you're just joining us, it's Anything Goes Friday, the John A. McCabe Show, and where on Fridays we talk about anything and everything, and we have a couple drinks. So I'm joined by my good friend Andy Lockwood from New York. And what is it specifically you do? And you do something with helping college kids get money to go to university down in the U.S., right?
Yeah. I mean, it's really two things: helping them find money through financial aid and scholarships, and also helping them get in. And where I am in Long Island, it's very intense in terms of kids aspiring to go to really expensive colleges, and the parents are usually much more intense than the kids about it. So it's all overall a very high pressure type of thing.
And these are typically middle class families that you work with, your clientele,
Um,
or you work with high net worth individuals as well, or
Somewhere in between. There's definitely both ends of the spectrum between low and very high, and but most people I would say are upper middle class, or I refer to them as forgotten middle class.
so they're the segment of the population that the country, your country, my country is actually losing because you're either going to end up in poverty or you're going to be one percenter. So a lot of that middle class is sort of going to end here shortly, and could be sooner rather than later, depending upon the results of your election.
I always wonder about that. We debate that back and forth in my house. I'm really curious about how much it's really going to matter in my life, one way or the other, who's elected. But I don't really think it matters that much, personally.
No, is there a lot of? It must be a hot topic down in the U.S. though, the presidential election.
It is. Yeah, it is really hot, and there's a lot of ranting in my house when the TV is on.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
So you have different parties being represented in your house?
Not really. We're sort of all kind of oriented the same way, but Pearl, my wife, is very vocal, and her sister now lives with us, and she's also the same. So there's a lot of TV yelling and ranting.
So it's like they're watching The Bachelor?
It's like I need to go to the office more and get away from all the estrogen in the house.
Yeah. So, yeah, your sister-in-law moved in. So what's next? Some more family coming in? You got bigger rooms? Maybe I'll come join you.
It's like a rabbit's warren. There's so many little nooks and crannies in my house that are occupied. I may be coming up to Canada or inviting you down.
Yeah. Well, it depends. If I hear if Trump gets in, then in Nova Scotia, our Cape Breton Island is going to get flooded by Americans, because we've been promoting to the Americans that if Trump wins, that we have a place for you in Cape Breton Island. And that's where my parents live right now, is Cape Breton Island.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you need to flee to the country, Cape Breton's the place you need to go.
Yeah. I'm going to stay put no matter who gets elected. I
don't really think it's going to matter too much to you.
I really don't. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, how much can a president really change things? And there's certainly tone and all that, but I don't know. I don't really know.
And being an entrepreneur, you make your own way anyway. You don't rely on the government. You don't rely on other businesses. As long as kids are still going to college, you're going to have an income, and you're a lawyer to boot, so you can always fall back on,
Yeah, that won't happen. But
being the dredge of society. And
that's not going to happen. I haven't practiced law since 1999. But
would you have to take the bar again?
I don't think so. I think I would just have to pay a fee or something. I'm admitted to a couple different bars, but I don't think so.
Yeah, but those types of bars just serve nothing but scotch. So
right, good one. I'm admitted to different states' bar associations.
Okay, excellent. So, so what do you have coming up this week? Do you have any webcasts coming up for your event, for your clients, or?
I have a lot of stuff. This is kind of like peak season for me. So I'm doing 2 live speaking things at a different, one's to a group of accountants, which should be a laugh riot because those guys are crazy. And I'm just looking at my calendar here. And then I have a library presentation, and we're mixing in a client-only thing just to kind of answer Q&A. Yeah,
So at the library presentations, they ask you to tone it down because you're too loud. They go, shh.
That's funny.
You just got to whisper?
You know what? They are happy when they can get a crowd of larger than 5 people. Usually they have weird, they probably have a lot of passion presentations and things like that. So when they get 30, 40, 50 people there, they're like, "Wow, I've never seen so many people." I'm like, "Well, it's because college is so expensive, and we can market for it."
So what is sort of a mid-range university? What's it cost to go to university down there?
The low end, $25,000 a year if you stay in state. 4-year colleges, and a lot of private schools are 60 to 70 or more per year.
And that's that's just the entry fee. That doesn't include your accommodations or anything.
No,
like that,
that's
right?
all in. So if it's $70 grand, tuition might be only 50. But then once you add all the other stuff, it gets up there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of families are going in debt just to send their kids to university, which when they graduate, what do they really end up with? A huge debt potentially, and job prospects that are getting slimmer, it seems.
The scariest stat is that I've seen is 50% of college grads don't have a job that requires a college degree 2 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you wonder why you even bother going to university.
Every once in a while, I talk kids out of going to college, as a college consultant after they've paid me for my advice.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
You pay me, and then I'll tell you, yeah, probably shouldn't go to university.
I want to give the best advice I can, and that's not usually the advice, but sometimes it's take another year off and then think about it for a year, then go after a gap year.
Yeah. Yeah, so my friend's daughter's in grade 11, so she's gearing up for that. And then, her mother's told her the same thing. I've mentioned to her, yeah, like I wish I would have taken a year off. I know being a part of the Commonwealth countries, we have actually the ability to go to another Commonwealth country if you're under 30 and legally work there for a year. So I didn't know that when I was under 30. But had I known that, I would have gone to another Commonwealth country like Australia or England or somewhere else and just sort of bummed around and found a job and worked for a year just for the experience.
Yeah, a lot of Canadians and Australians, even British, do that. So that's a great thing.
Yeah, and I mentioned it to my brother's soon-to-be wife. She has a son that just graduated university, and it's like just graduated high school. And same thing, he's unsure as to what he wants to do. It's like, oh, just take a year off and go travel. But, that's what I would do, but what do we know? We're old, what do we know? It didn't work. I didn't know about it, so I didn't get to go.
No, he could work for you, get that internship.
No, I'd have to pay. I'm not into paying people too much.
That's a nice characteristic.
Sorry, I am when I can afford to.
Okay.
I really can't afford to right now. So, Melody Rush just joined us. Hey, Melody, how are you? And sure you remember Melody Andy from many of the events.
Absolutely.
And if you have any questions for either Andy or myself, it's Anything Goes Friday, so it's not business specific. It's whatever you want to talk about.
Can we make fun of some of the other guests?
Sure.
Like O'Keefe?
Sure. What do you have to say about Everett? Everett's not on, so he can't really defend himself. So
yeah, he's just a bad guy. He's got this whole nice religious guy, sort of facade, but I've seen behind it, and he's.
You've seen behind the scenes?
Yeah, I don't trust him. He has all these tantrums all the time. He's very hard to deal with.
And he wears a suit of armor.
Yeah, I saw that. It looked like it was made out of tin foil or something.
He made it himself. It's for all the Comic-Con conventions that he goes to.
Or he's a closet white supremacist, and he's got all these weapons there. I think Comic-Con is probably more accurate.
Okay.
What do you think his superhero character would be?
Lancelot? Didn't he pull the sword out of the stone?
I believe that was Alexander the Great.
Oh, was it?
No, that was the Gordian knot. No, I think it was no, it was King Arthur.
Was it King Arthur, or I thought it was Lancelot that pulled it out? I don't know. I don't know anything about history.
I think he would just be like super bald guy or something.
It's Friday. Anything goes.
Super receding hair guy.
With Andy Lockwood, talking about our fellow marketers and good friends. So when's the last time?
Behind their backs.
Yeah, behind their backs. So when's the last time you talked to Ed Rush?
Last time was probably when he was doing a webcast and made the mistake of letting me know about it. And I got on there and just did kind of this, but in chat.
Yeah.
Wasn't invited back.
Yeah, funny how that works.
Yeah, weird.
So, are you not in the mastermind this time around?
No, I mean it was. I actually really enjoyed it, but for me being on the other coast and having four kids, and it's just that the hassle. Not so
Yeah,
much the expense; it's the hassle of having to move heaven and earth. Because I coach a bunch of. Well, I used to coach a bunch of stuff for my kids, and they're just busy.
yeah. So I opted out this year. I plan to get back in next year in either that one or maybe some other ones. So do you have any?
I'm actually in a local one, which is fantastic. So it's
And I'm trying to start a local one right now. So we'll see how that goes. Are you being coached by anybody right now?
just you. I mean, this right now, it's going great.
Yeah, I'm giving you great coaching advice. And so my mother's giving me hell because we're talking about somebody who's not here to defend himself.
She's
So,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, you really shouldn't do that. I'm ashamed.
it's all your fault.
Oh, it's me. That's right. Yeah.
That's right. So if somebody out there could get Everett on the show, and maybe Andy Falco too, because I think Lockwood has something to say to him. I don't know.
Oh, he's on my hit list.
He's on your hit list too. So yeah, if somebody could message them and get them on the show. So,
Did you notice how his hair got darker all of a sudden?
no,
Andy Falco.
is he using the Grecian formula?
Not that I'm one to talk, but maybe I don't know. I don't know. I just noticed it. I was like, huh, maybe I should do that. But I don't really know the whole story.
That
Yeah.
would be really funny if you showed up on Tuesday's show and you had a full black head of hair.
Well, I told you about my idea to be shirtless, but you didn't really go for that.
Sorry, I must have missed that.
Yeah, don't. It's okay.
Okay.
There's always hope.
Yeah.
Only a
So
few days away.
I'm not the sharpest tool in the drawer. So Kathy Spence just joined us. Hey Kathy, how you doing? Is anything good?
That there was that movie that came out about Whitey Bulger with Johnny Depp. He did mention selling drugs to Newton High, which apparently happened, even though I didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah, my high school. Yeah, Newton North High School. Yeah, so that's about as close as I got.
I didn't watch that movie. I heard it was really good though.
It was all right. It was very tense. It was good accents, great Boston accents.
Typical Depp movie.
You know what? It was like it was around that time period where like every other movie was like a Boston movie. There's all there was like 10 movies with accents that came out. So yeah, it was okay.
Excellent. So come on, man, I'm carrying the conversation. Oh yeah, it is my show, isn't it?
I don't know, John. What do you? I don't know what you guys usually talk about on these Anything Goes Fridays. I mean, if it's really anything goes.
Last Friday, my good friend Paul German was on, and he's a photographer and an adventure guide. I met him in Belize. He's from Ontario, and he just travels the world. And he actually works for resorts, or he does guiding, and people hire him to take them guiding around the world to different places, and he sort of documents the journey that they go on.
That is unbelievable how similar my lifestyle is to his.
So,
because right now I'm in my basement, and I go upstairs a lot, and I have four kids. I never go anywhere, just except to their football games and soccer games.
Yeah. So maybe you need to hire Paul to take you away for a week. But he talked about his, so he's doesn't have any products or services, and he's just trying to promote his business. So we had some great ideas. Jason P. Jordan was on the show.
Nice.
Jason worked. He was commenting on the show, and he worked many.
He's a smart guy.
Worked with a photographer before, so he had given him some great advice. We talked about creating some info products that'll get him some passive income while he's looking for the higher paying clients. Obviously, if he's gonna do group tours or individual tours, it's obviously a higher price point. But so yeah,
it's tough being a photographer now. I think if you're just not what he's doing, but I have a couple of clients who are photographers and they do like weddings and stuff, and it's so competitive because you have people who just think they can do the same thing with their cell phones, and to some extent it's true. So doing the adventure stuff sounds kind of cool.
Yeah. So I offered him my services, my coaching services. I said, get me to Costa Rica, because he lives in Costa Rica right now. I said, get me to Costa Rica. If you get me down there and keep me there for 2 weeks and you pay for everything, I said, I'll coach you for 2 weeks.
What about your modeling services? Because you are quite fetching.
Yeah. So,
Throw that in.
maybe my beach body will end up on a couple shots. You never know.
Yeah.
So I hope he's
Great
really
thinking.
good at photoshopping. Because, otherwise they'll think it's a beach mammal of some kind. Or an albino.
Not very tan.
No, I don't get a tan and don't hold a tan very well. So
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
That pale Irish heritage.
Yeah, exactly.
Pasty.
So,
A lot of you guys in Boston, by the way.
yeah. So I ended up go visit my friend in the Philippines, and just a big white guy walking around, and just like
You don't blend in too well.
oh no, not at all. I'm like, just imagine if when Andre the Giant was alive and was walking down the street. So that's pretty much me in the Philippines.
I think your forehead is a little more normal.
Yeah, not quite as large, but the height difference between the average person down there and myself is about the same as the average person and Andre the Giant, I think.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Lost a great one. Princess Bride. He was
Princess
great.
Bride, yeah. Hey, that was Everett's favorite movie.
Really?
Because I did the 10 questions, the speed round, and his favorite movie was Princess Bride, and I started laughing. So
I
it's
could
actually a
totally
good
see
movie.
that.
It's
Yeah.
a good movie, though. I really liked the movie.
I could see him as like a Monty Python guy also.
Yeah.
With all that fake body armor he's got in his office. Who knows what else he's got in those drawers?
So, Ron, Anything Goes Friday, and anything is going here with my good friend Andy Lockwood. And what's going on? Who's talking on here? If you're just joining us, please leave a comment for Andy or myself.
Shirley.
That's my mother, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, see, my mom, who's actually coming into town today, was
Okay.
always like the librarian at every school, from elementary to middle school to high school that I was at, and it was rough because every time I wised off, like she would hear about it, like as the the sound was leaving my lips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to wait to get home to hear about it.
Right. Exactly.
Did she ever punish you right in school?
That's a good question. I don't think
Or
she
did
actually
Did
did.
she actually wait till you get home? She didn't want to jeopardize her job by hitting a student. She waited till she got home and then throttled you.
She was more of a grounder, not a hitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There
Yeah,
were multiple groundings.
Yeah, so you didn't see outside your home very much when you were a kid?
All my friends still make fun of me for even on Facebook they'll say, "Oh, I hope your mom doesn't see," because someone found a photo of like a party I had, and they're like, "Oh, I hope your mom doesn't see this. You'll get grounded again." That was like 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Still funny. It's the joke that keeps on giving.
Yeah. Just keeps on coming. So, how's that?
So let's talk about you. Let me interview you. Can I do that?
All right. Yeah, you can interview me.
So what are you doing with this show? Talk to me about your show because I actually want to know this.
Okay. So
What's the whole point of Anything Goes Friday? Is it like a weird sort of like
No, it's just trying to be because the other days are very specific. So Monday is very specifically real estate investing.
Got it.
Tuesday is business strategies to accelerate your authority. So we talk about various strategies. Wednesday is the entrepreneur's journey. So we talk about people's journey into entrepreneurship, the struggles, the challenges. Thursday is a coaching day. So either I'll coach somebody or somebody will coach me. So it's getting advice and helping people.
Got it.
So Friday really is a day where I can talk to people about their business. Or if I don't have anyone to talk to about their business, like the gentleman that was supposed to be on, we were going to talk about his book. And so then, we'll talk about a business or we'll talk about sports or what's going on in the world or just anything, maybe lighten the mood a little bit. So it's much easier to have somebody on just to banter back and forth than it is to just stare at a camera and talk to people, even though that I can see that there's some people watching on Facebook that are leaving some comments.
And then what about...
Speaking of comments, my mother just left one about my punishment for being bad. So,
Good.
Yeah.
I was hoping we would get at that.
Yeah, it was standing in the corner.
Really? Oh, here's my son Harry. Can I bring him in for a sec?
Yeah, sure.
Here's my intern. Harry, say hi to. Here, come over here. This is my intern, Harry.
Hello.
Hey, Harry, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So what's it like working for that guy?
Sorry.
Well, there's a lot of stuff. It's not fun about it,
Harry's helped me a lot with the Mevo live streaming.
Okay.
and by help he means every thing about it.
Yeah.
And doing it for.
So he was blaming you actually last week or 2 weeks ago for the problems. And
That's right.
Said he was going to fire his intern.
That's right. That's him.
I don't care. I don't get paid.
I think he quit, actually. He didn't show up last night.
All right. The weight room is closed. So we're pumping iron upstairs.
Okay. Good talk.
I don't know.
Anything really does go. So my question for you is, what about Saturday? Is that the Lord's Day? Why aren't you doing this Saturday and Sunday?
Well,
Yeah.
actually, when I first started these, I thought, okay, I'll do an hour show and it'll be easy, right? I'll just spend an hour each day doing these shows. But
Ooh, that sounds hard.
It's actually ended up being the majority of my day. So I try to get the information packages from people ahead of time, which most of them, I'm lucky if I get them the day before. So then the
Is
morning,
that a hint to me?
yeah. So the morning before, as I'm writing the intro to talk about them, I'm crafting the questions, sort of the show flow, that kind of stuff, checking all of the technology, and that takes me right up till the show time. And then after the show, I grab something to eat, and then I end up working on some other stuff, trying to do some more social media. So the premise or the big picture of the show, because you asked me what's the purpose of the show.
Yeah.
The big picture is I'm using the show to sort of as a model for the authority acceleration. So it's basically helping entrepreneurs or business owners or authors, expert speakers get seen, heard on any device anywhere in 100 days or less. So basically in 100 days, really building their authority. So I'm doing that. So my formula is 110 100. So that means for every 1 hour of content, there's 10 hours of distribution and engagement on that content, and you do it for 100 days straight. So normally I just when I work with private clients, it's just getting them to do 1 hour a week of content, and that content would be like a video or Facebook Live or something, and then we would spend 10 hours sort of distributing that content, repurposing that content, using it to help them become a #1 best-selling author, podcast, that sort of stuff. So basically I'm doing that, multiplying it by 5 because I'm doing it 5 times a week. So that means 50 hours of content creation or 50 hours of distribution.
That's
and
so
engagement.
much. Yeah, that's crazy.
So I have several outsourcers that are working on all of this. So after a show, the show actually goes and gets transcribed, and then the transcription goes to somebody else, and they'll actually write a couple blogs, some notes for the web page and the YouTube page, and then it gets edited into a podcast, an audio podcast, and then it gets chopped up into various clips, and then all of that stuff will get distributed and promoted consistently, persistently. So we're just starting with the first. I'm on show 14, so I just got the first 5 transcripts back, who are going to the writer today. So then they'll start their process. The clips are already being done, so we're up to show 11 for the various clips, and I haven't started promoting those yet. And as well, the video podcast and the audio podcast will start to get done starting now. So they'll be actually editing these and creating videos and audio podcasts.
I can't believe how much you're doing. Like, it's unbelievable.
So all of this stuff is to be done within the 100-day time frame, and it's all so that every day will be so much content being distributed in a variety of different formats and a variety of different forms, and all of that is specifically designed to increase my authority in helping people grow their business and accelerate their authority, which will lead to a digital course and high-end coaching and done-for-you services. So that's the plan. Okay,
that's all very interesting. Why were you put in the corner by your mom so much, and how frequently?
I was a badass kid. I was a good kid, but I just did bad things, made bad choices. I don't know, not listening to them. They tell me not to do something, I do it anyway, or they tell me to do something, I wouldn't do it.
Well, so I wish to remind you that this is Anything Goes Friday. So I think, in the spirit of full disclosure, you should give some specifics about what merited this type of punishment.
Um, well, there was this one time I lit the whole back field afire.
And all you got was to stand in the corner, or was
No,
there something?
I got more than that. But
Okay.
I'll only say that standing in the corner was the best of that punishment. But
Not sitting. You had to actually stand.
Stand. So yeah, that's one of the worst things I did. I think
That's
that I
pretty-
that I got caught doing. I actually told my parents some of the stuff that I never got caught doing
Yeah.
after the fact. Yeah. So there's this one time I had, I think I was 16 or 17, and my dad had a Dodge Ram truck, a step side. It was black with red stripes, and at the bottom of your vehicle you can have that rock guard. It's the same color, but it's sort of rougher, and it's for, I don't know, maybe you don't have it in the U.S., but especially in the areas where there's a lot of salt.
Yeah.
It adds a lot of protection to your vehicle. So it was only a two-wheel drive, but I decided to take it off-road. And I was taking a shortcut from the store. I went the back way, and I wanted to get onto the highway, and I had to go down a ditch and back up. And but there was a trail there. People had done it before, so it was no big deal. But when I was going down, there was a guardrail, and I scraped the side of the truck right where the rock guard was, and there was a big, blatant scrape. And I got home, it's like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna say. So I pulled out in front of Dad's garage. So I started rooting around the garage, and I saw he had a bucket of tar, and fortunately his truck was black. So I put a little bit of tar on the spot, and then I threw a bunch of sand on it to give it that texture, and then I put more tar on it. So then you really couldn't tell that I had scraped the truck.
Right.
So yeah, I told him that one, 10 years ago. I ended up telling him that I did that.
Which was 20 years later or something.
Yeah. So it was well past the
Statute of limitations.
Statute of limitations. Yeah. So they couldn't put me in the corner for that one.
That's pretty clever, though. That takes a lot of planning and resourceful thinking.
And there's also, I don't know if I told him this one or not, but I'll tell it anyway, because what's the worst they can do right now?
I don't know. Shirley could still be on.
Yeah, well, she is on. She just told me he has also two brothers, and they all had their days too. So
She's sticking up for you.
yeah. So my dad just bought a brand new truck. It was just one of the small Ram trucks. One of the smaller ones, not the big half-ton, but a smaller one. It was like 2 or 3 days old, and they ended up going away. So I had it, and I was actually bouncing in a bar at the time. And I ended up drinking too much, and my friend had to drive me
On the job?
Yeah, I was drinking on the job as a bouncer.
That's impressive right there. I like how you just glossed over that.
So drunk. This is when I was working at the Kingsway in Windsor, and
You know what? I think you're growing your authority right now.
My friend actually had to drive the truck, so he was driving me, and I got sick inside the brand new truck, and I got a stain on the passenger side. At least I wasn't drinking and driving. So then my dad was coming back in 2 days, so I had 2 days to get the puke smell and clean the truck out. So
Did you resort to the tar?
Religiously, no, I didn't use the tar, but there was a lot of pine fresh and a lot of scrubbing and every Febreze, whatever else I could use.
Yeah, anything.
And he noticed that I did end up lying to my dad. I told him that I spilt. He wanted to know what the stain was. I said, "Oh, I spilled some pop."
Well, you did spill something.
Yeah.
It just came out of your esophagus.
No, Mom, it was the white Ram 50 that I'm talking about. She said it was a Datsun. I said, no, it was a white Ram 50, the white one with the black stripes.
Like it matters. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
don't split hairs.
Yeah. Exactly. So,
Yeah. My older son, not Harry, who was here before, but he totaled Pearl's car 24 hours after he got his license last year.
We're talking about a couple of accidents. So I had just got my license not too long. I hadn't had them for very long, and I was going to my friend's place, And there was an intersection where it's sort of where almost like three roads sort of come together, and there was a middle triangle that was just like a middle piece of land where the road sort of went by. And anyway, so I was following my friend. Maybe I was going a little bit too fast, but
Maybe.
There was a large semi truck coming towards me that was, and these are narrow country roads, so it was
Don't mitigate the
on my side of the road a little bit. So I went over to the shoulder, and when I cut back onto the road, I cut too sharp, and I actually cut right across the road. I slammed on the brakes, and this is an area where near that triangle where the road and the land is all on the same level. So I skidded right across, and I ended up putting the truck right through somebody's window, house window. So then I left the scene of the accident because
Gets better.
Because my mother was at the high school for parent teacher. So I got my friend to take me over to the high school to get my mother. She was actually with my physics professor at my physics.
Interesting how you were conducting a physics experiment yourself at the same time.
Yeah.
Acceleration, mass, whatever.
Yeah. So what happens when one immovable force hits another immovable force? So then, I came back, and the cops were there, and they put me in the car, and they grilled me, and they wanted to give me a breathalyzer, and I was 16, right? Why'd you leave? Why'd you leave the accident? Why'd you leave? It's like, I just got my license. I didn't know what to do. I went to get my mother. And
Wow.
then there's this other time.
Does this feel good to do this in front of your mom?
Oh, she already knows all this stuff.
Okay.
So
I'm enjoying it.
Actually, I was just driving. It was an icy evening, and I was going slow because of the road conditions. But I saw ahead there was like an S-shaped turn coming up, not a really sharp one, but enough. And I saw that there was a police car right on the turn. And I saw that there was a vehicle in the ditch on the other side, and I was driving Dad's two-wheel, the same black two-wheel truck, right? Two-wheel drive truck. And I just started to slow down, and it was all black ice on the entire road on that S-shaped turn, and the stupid cop parked right on the turn, right on the ice. And as I was slowing down, I wasn't speeding to start with, but as I was slowing down, the accident just started fishtailing.
Yeah.
So I sideswiped the cop car.
That's very Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah. So, yeah. At least the cop knew, like, there was nothing I could do, so I didn't get in trouble for that. Anyway, so I've been in my fair share of accidents.
No corner standing from that?
No corner standing. I think I was past my corner standing time.
Was this like 2 weeks ago, or is it like in the distant past?
I was like 16, 17. I was still in high school.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, so we went from, the discussion took a deep turn from what I'm doing with this show to my past. Well,
again, it's all about accelerating the authority, and you clearly know how to accelerate.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Learn to brake a little bit.
Yeah. Need a little work on the braking part, but
there is such a thing as accelerating too fast, you know.
Yeah. But I can definitely accelerate the authority of how fast I can just wreck a truck by puking in it or getting into an accident.
Maybe there's an info product there somewhere.
Yeah. But
so you're doing at some point this is going to be like a coaching thing, and that's really the purpose behind this. All right.
Purpose, yeah. So we'll create an info product that basically walks people through all the steps and how to actually do this, finding the outsourcers, getting the help that they need to sort of repurpose all the information. So
I think the equipment, like how to do it, is like a big, at least for me, that's a big hang up for all sorts of, I force myself to learn some stuff, but I hate it. I'm always nervous about using any technology.
Yeah, so with that will come the sort of the upsell of the done for you services, right? Where we actually just, even over Skype, where I'll just spend an hour a week for 15 weeks and just have conversations, ask questions, talk to the person, maybe talk to some of their clients, just to gather all of the information that we need. And so basically the client will end up only spending 1 hour a week for 15 weeks, and then we'll actually take all the content and do it all for them. So repurpose it, create a book, podcast, a couple different podcasts, content for their website, for YouTube, tweets, social engagement, all of that stuff will be done for them. So
how many books have you written so far?
Two. And so this one here will be the third, but I've got a couple of other real estate ones that I need to do before Christmas as well. So one on foreclosures, and I created a real estate or a rent-to-own course. So I'm going to create another rent-to-own book that goes along, and a guide that goes along with the actual course. So.
And you were offline bitching and moaning about how lazy you are about actually doing real estate, but you're still doing it, right?
No, I'm still doing it. I'm a part owner of a nationwide company, so we actually still do real estate, and I still do marketing for real estate. But me actually going out, well, it's prioritizing my time. I'm going to spend my time going to meet homeowners and doing it here locally, or am I going to do this kind of stuff, which is more my passion, more what I want to do. So I'll take the sacrifices right now. Passion, yeah. It's I'll take the sacrifices now by not doing the real estate personally, but I'm still involved in real estate investment companies, and I'm still involved in helping real estate investors, coaching them, or building marketing systems for them. So, but I'm spending majority of my time on this stuff here, creating my authority in this industry so that I can help other entrepreneurs. And because I truly group real estate investors, they're just an entrepreneur, they're just a business. But people like to segregate them so much that they almost need their own special attention, like it's a very niche segment of entrepreneurism or being a business owner. So I reach them sort of separately, but then I lump a lot of other businesses or entrepreneurs together into using this product or service, because I've pretty much already done something very similar in my real estate space, but people, for whatever reason, they say, oh, that's real estate investing, that's different. It's like real estate investing is not a real business. So building your authority is not really it's not real because you did it as a real estate investor versus doing it as any other type of business. So did that answer your question?
No, well, I'm just yes, but I was just thinking like one of my favorite lines I think I ever read. I think it was a Dan Kennedy line about passion is in terms of how overrated it is. There's something like, well, my passion is like lying around in my hammock and watching football and drinking beer, but I can't find anyone to pay me for it. So I'm a marketing guy. Something like that.
Yeah, I like I'm right along that line. So it's not that it's not my passion, but I enjoy doing it better than actually going out and meeting homeowners and negotiating on houses. I'd rather help somebody grow their business.
Right.
It's definitely not a passion. I'll take that one back. It's not a passion because I'm like, I'm along with Dan Kennedy. I'd rather sit around, drink beer, and shoot the shit than actually work.
It's all about figuring out how not to work.
Yeah. So building stuff to leverage our time and earn an income. So make my money and invest it in real estate where I can get a passive return. That's sort of always been the plan and the mission.
Nice. All right, what else do you want to talk about? Should we make fun of anyone else, or it's your show? I mean, it's your show. I can't give any more than I'm giving.
No, you're doing a great job.
Let's see. Let's recap a little bit. You were a horrible child.
Yeah, I stood in the corner lots. I set the field afire. I've been in multiple accidents. Some my fault, some not my fault.
All your fault.
All my fault. Okay, so
being a good coach is also learning how to teach others to take responsibility.
Responsibility, yeah.
Same.
Natasha Sexton was on. Terry Gingras was on. So if you're just joining us, we're in for the last 50 minutes. 'Cause we started 50 minutes ago.
Wow, it feels like 49 minutes.
Okay. All right, what's your question?
What's the funniest or stupidest thing you've ever witnessed in any of these marketing things that you've gone to?
Geez, I don't know. I don't think I can answer that. I don't really remember
That's fun.
anything funny or really nothing really stands out. But I'm also terrible for remembering stuff. 'Cause I go on a lot of sports trips with my brother and my friends, and
Where they drive?
they're talking about stuff, and it's like, I don't remember any of this stuff. What are you guys talking about?
Were you blacking it out?
No, because I'm never drunk, and I'm always coherent, but it's not relevant enough for me to remember. They're talking about a play that happened or whatever. It's like, I don't remember. We went and watched the last, Barry Bonds was, we're in San Francisco, and he was going for the home run record and stuff, and, different situations. And it's like, yeah, I don't quite remember that, but whatever. I'll agree. If you say so, I'll agree. So anyway, what's the funniest thing for you?
One of the story I was there, but it was out in the lobby. So one of the funniest things I think I ever heard was, you ever hear Chris Hendrickson talk about how some kid set up shop to start selling his own stuff, like right in front of their registration table?
Yeah, I remember that now.
Remember that story?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then turned into like a whole argument with all sorts of like, middle fingers being, thrust at, Chris and stuff. And he's like the nicest guy in the world. Yeah.
What was the kid selling?
I think it was, first of all, they hadn't even bought a ticket for it, and it was the mom and like 3 kids, and they had driven like some ungodly distance to get there, and then he was selling like bracelets or something totally, not relevant.
Not, marketing relevant.
Yeah.
No, I remember that. I remember him telling that story.
That's what
I wasn't there to witness it. Were you actually there to witness it?
I saw it happening. I didn't realize what it was. And then I went, into the conference room or whatever, and then I came back out, and there was like a little altercation. I was like, what the hell was that? And he told me. It was like the funniest. I mean, he handled it really well, but it was the funniest thing. Yeah. But yeah, any type of live event, there's always something weird going on. I think I told you a few hours ago. I do a lot of the same stuff over and over again for my college presentations at libraries and places like that, and I've pretty much heard every question I'll ever get because I've been saying the same thing over and over again for like 7 years. And but this week, someone said, so I'm the mother of 10, and I have a question about, and I'm like, what? Yeah. So that was kind of funny / odd.
So what's the? I was at one event, and it was actually the first large event I went to. It was in Denver. A guy named Greg Habstreet was putting it on. He had a simple wealth formula.
Simple wealth passion?
No.
Passionate wealth?
Trusted authority or something. Trusted authority. So anyway, I went to it, and
Passion Accelerator?
It was like that's what was being promoted because there was so many woo-woo people there. Like, seriously. Not real business people, but so many woo.
Hey, that's offensive.
Why? Because you're a woo-woo person?
Yeah. Can you tell?
Yeah. So
instead of talking about how to get scholarships, let's talk about our feelings first.
So it was like 3 days of that, and he let people like talk because he was going through some of the programs, and people got a chance to openly talk about their whatever, and oh my goodness, they would just drone on and on and on. It was the worst for
People love talking about themselves.
It was actually one of the best conferences because he had so many big name speakers. He had Amish Shaw, he had Eben Pagan, he had Rich Sheffrin, he had Mike Koenigs, Brian Tracy, so many big names all at this one event. Vishen Lakiani, yeah. It was actually a pretty good event for that part, but all those woo-woo people, it's like, oh, God.
Yeah, that's the part of the stuff that I just can't really relate to, and I am ready to admit that I could probably use more of that, but I'm just too cynical as a person. So I'm like, I can't stand it.
No, it's hard to.
But everyone needs the head trip. I mean, I acknowledge that, and like when you're like Mike Koenigs and you've beaten cancer and all that, and you've had these. I mean, I get that.
Yep.
But I haven't, and I just
we're just not in the place for it in our lives right now, I guess.
Yeah. I'm just like, I just want to make more money. Is that is that okay?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll help more people. They pay me more money, and life will be good.
Find your passion. Accelerate your passion.
When I've got 7, 8 figures in the bank, then I'll maybe think about something else.
Because everyone who speaks about that stuff has 8 figures in the bank.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Or they have nothing, and that's all they care about.
Again, with a cynicism. Who are you? Shirley, was John always this way when he was growing up?
Yeah.
If you're still
I guess we're coming to an end of
What?
Anything Goes Friday. It's
I could do this all night.
so now it's Pearl's not back from her massage yet, so
Well, it's 90 minutes, and then we have my son's football game, so we have to go tailgate, which is, of course, frowned upon for school events.
Yeah.
Involves a lot of plastic cups.
Better pound a couple more scotch before you head out.
Football is one of the things I can definitely sit through, but like my kids' plays and all that, you definitely need. I personally, I just can't stand them. I need some sort of substance to help me along.
Yeah, there's depends on the quality of the play, the quality of the talent, I guess.
I can tell you categorically, every one of them is they happen to be very good plays in the abstract. I'm just not a play guy.
Yeah.
But I can't see the same thing over and over again like 5 times.
Oh, you don't just see it do once and then call it a day. They make you to go to every performance.
I don't. Pearl goes to every performance. I will go to at this point I'll go to 2. If they're playing the one role like 5 times, I'll see 2 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, every single performance I'd be
It's
painful. When the lights go down, just leave, and then when the lights come back on, you're just miraculously already back in your chair.
So the last conversation I had with my 6th grader, Samantha, I was like, "Hey, you were great in that." She was the lead, and I don't even know what show it was. And she's like, "Dad, I saw you had your earbuds in." I was like, "I took them out when you were singing." Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good parenting right there. A lot of therapy is coming up for her.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's it for today's show. So join us next week on the John A. McCabe Show, where webcasts and how he accelerates his authority using webcasts and selling his products and his services.
You're still going to invite me back?
Still going to invite you back. Maybe we'll have you as a semi-regular on Fridays whenever you're got nothing better to do and Pearl leaves you for the day.
That's frequent.
And then Wednesday, my good friend John McCarthy, ex-boxer turned teacher and entrepreneur, gym owner, will be on. And that's all the lineup I have right now. So thanks, everybody, for being on. And please join us again on Monday for another great John A. McCabe Show. So thanks for joining us. And I'm going to transition out as soon as I can make it happen. All right. Thanks, everybody. And thanks, Andy, for being on.
My pleasure.